I'm going to bring new tutorial to you, which is React Hook. I have been using React for more than years ago, and I have good experience about using across different version of React. But on this tutorial, we are going to talk specifically about React Hook, or the latest React that being released. So as we see here in front of us, this is the React documentation page. So basically, I will be focused on the essential things that will be most of the times using and will be interact with, and then you can add more or learning more about more specific things. So we'll be covering all the standard things that we'll be using in normal application: how to create a React app, and how to create component, how to use a props, how to use a state, use a state, and all these things. So basically all of the time, or most of the time, you will be using them. And as they explain here on React documentation, we need to go through all of this, and will be really long, but we'll just go for some of them here. There is a very quick guide. So they explain what you need to start learn React. Basically here, as they mentioning, to have like basic familiarity with the HTML and CSS, very basic knowledge of HTML and CSS, and also basic knowledge of JavaScript and programming. So you don't have to be like having a solid knowledge, but basic one of it. And also to have basic understanding of DOM. I don't think this is really important this for our tutorial, but if you have that, it will be really good. And also we'll be familiar with the E6 syntax and features. So only E6 syntax JavaScript is just the some of newest JavaScript syntax that we are going to use with the React Hook. And also you have basic knowledge about Node.js and npm, and we are not going to interact with this a lot, but we'll explain just the very basic of the things that we need to create React app and using React Hook. So, and if we go down here where they are the definition of React, there is a multiple definition here. As they saying, it is a React is a JavaScript library, and one of the most popular ones with like over 100,000 star in GitHub. GitHub, this is where you can find all open source project and applications. And here also saying that React is not framework, unlike Angular. Angular also is a framework. And also, as they say here, React is used to build a user interface, UI, on front end. So basically, you'll be always using it on front end. It will be used on the browser. And also, as I skipped this one here, React is an open source project created by Facebook, so that people can interact with, they can use it. And as you see here on the last one, React is view layer of an MVC application, which stands for Module View Controller. So basically that is the React. Very simply, basically it's an open source project that being created by Facebook, and it's most popular framework that being used now, JavaScript. And you need very basic knowledge of these things here. I mentioned just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and also JavaScript syntax, E6 syntax, so that it will allow us to start to learn more about React. And as I mentioned, that the things we'll be covering, as I mentioned here on the top, the goal will be the essential things that we need to read around here, just like a props and state and use state. So this is the most important three things that we are going to learn, and also how to reuse a component, how to create a component. And on end of this tutorial, also we'll build a small project to summarize all what we learned on these videos, and just implement that as a practical things. We can just practice all the previous steps we learned on this tutorial. And if you have any question or any comment, just leave it down of this video to answer it. And if you're also new to my channel, don't forget to press subscribe and enable the bell to get all new videos and content. So let's see you directly on the next video.